Party people in the place to be. You are now in the midst of a real MC. Throw your hands in the air if you're real as me.
Yo.
What up with it?
This is Unspoken Conversation.
Abrupt stop.
I'm about to say
Abrupt. We're gonna have to fix that.
Damn joke.
right.
Yeah, but this is episode 60. I don't even know where to start with that.
What up?
But,
What
man,
up,
what's
man?
going
How
on?
y'all
This
doing?
is episode 60. This your boy Antoine, the source.
D-boy Fresh, the charming asshole.
Man, it's knowledge, man. How y'all doing?
What up? This your boy Flam.
And we got a special guest in the building. You know, we always try to bring y'all the nice multitude of guests from all facets, all parameters of the culture. So we got my man Prescott Mac in here.
What's good?
What's good?
Good pass
What's
Pete.
happening?
Hey, man, and yeah, at Good Pass P.
Yeah.
You know, if you're wondering who, we got in the building, he's the owner of Dallas Skyline Basketball Club
General manager.
and general manager.
Yes, sir.
And so just give him a little bit about yourself, to bring him in.
Oh man, I'm 28. Black male owner of a professional basketball team, so that's already lit
Say
in,
that.
in itself.
Yeah. Like you,
But-
Shaq, and Michael Jordan. That's,
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
really,
Yeah,
hey,
that's it.
You
That's
got the
it.
same title as them motherfuckers, man. Don't let nobody tell you different.
sir.
I own a basketball team.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's real.
But yeah, I'm 28. I by trade I'm a sports agent. Been a sports agent for 7 years now. So represent players that play overseas. And then other than that, I'm just regular, man. I'm from Dallas.
Oh,
I'm
what's
just
up?
a regular Dallas.
Triple
dude.
D in the building.
Facts.
Yeah.
Man, we're going to get into a little bit about them, about the league, and just give people some insight on, the movements being pushed out here, wake y'all up a little bit. But, we didn't have some things going on in the culture and outside the culture.
Oh,
Man.
This
We gonna
week.
get back to you in a minute.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But we got to touch it. We going to need your insight on some of this, because,
You been to China?
pow!
Hey, I've been to the
Hey.
Philippines. That's enough.
And I actually have insight on that since we speaking on that in Hong Kong. Y'all know LeBron, my guy, and everything like this.
Bro, catch me up. Because I know first off, I'm mad
Well,
about two things.
No, I was gonna tell you, for y'all to understand what we talking about. This is the since we have an owner of a basketball team here, I feel like it's only right that we discuss the politics of having a global entity. Like the NBA dealing with some a nation that's powerful and a market that's powerful as China. So Marcus, he wanted some insight on the Hong Kong situation. So yeah, man, what you noticed about it? Knowledge?
Man, two things, man. I've been looking for Let 'Em Dance lands all summer, ready for them. I'm like, right. Man, then I get on Snap, and I see him with a China team. I'm
yeah,
like,
he's from Chinese. Yeah, he playing
I-
He
Chinese.
killing them.
He's killing.
right,
killing that league.
So I'm like, well, dang, it kind of broke my heart. Like, he ain't with
Nigga
the
making
Lakers
like
no
$3
more.
million over there with no expenses.
Right. And then, so
Untaxed.
Then I got excited because I had just left Flim crib, and I was like, oh, man, basketball back. You know what I'm saying? I see
Tip off
Anthony
next week.
Davis. And then next thing you know, everything about blackout in China. And I didn't understand it because I know I got the largest army. I know they're a dictatorship, just general, but I didn't understand the tiff of what the Houston general manager said
So
all the way to what
the thing
LeBron
is,
said.
we have the Chinese Basketball Association. Is the president of that is Yao Ming. Houston
Right.
is the most visible team in China as far as the Chinese market due to Yao Ming being
The first Chinese
first
American born
player.
player.
Right.
No, he wasn't American born. The first Chinese
Yes, it's
player.
a Chinese
Yes.
born player.
Yeah, and so that pretty much they have a lot of business.
Right.
And when he spoke out in reference to the blackout in Hong Kong, that is pretty much showing support for not understanding that, hey, we are against that because pretty much that is, we do not believe in free speech, and so you're pretty much supporting something that we're against. It's like if a Trump supporter if an entity was a Trump supporter, but you basically sent out a tweet about supporting Kamala Harris or something like that,
Yeah.
they're pretty much going like, hey, you going exactly away from everything we stand for. And so the Chinese culture is not like America, where it's democratic and is also where it's open-minded about free speech. So they have the culture of you either all with us, or you against us.
And what people don't understand is in the basketball world, China is the only country in the world where basketball is the first sport.
Right.
So like every other country in the world besides America and China, soccer's the first sport.
Right.
And then basketball is the second sport. So in America, football is our first sport, basketball is next. And then, but in China, basketball is it. Then it's probably ping pong.
That's 15% of the market for Nike's basketball.
Exactly. And so for China and the NBA, that partnership is huge. And for somebody to speak out with, like you said, with China not really playing that you going against us stuff, that open-minded. So if anybody from the NBA speaks out on that, then all of a sudden it might be that one person's opinion, but China looking at it like the whole NBA is against us.
Because they tried to put pressure on Adam Silver to fire Daryl Morey.
Right. And then what LeBron was upset was, why would you tweet something knowing that's our relationship?
So
keep
people
your
didn't
personal
understand
stuff to that. Yeah.
But you understand it. It's not a thing of understanding, but it's a thing of principles. Like if that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand, I understand partnerships and all the money and stuff like that, but at some point it's not about the money no more.
No, but the thing is, you still, but people didn't understand why the NBA was under so much fire.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you have a conglomerate of country, every U.S. athlete that's signed by a major basketball sports apparel company has a tour to China, an Asian tour, because that market is so huge.
Most of the shit made
so
over there.
That shit made, exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, and LeBron speaking out, but you want to know what it shows me is we can be absent-minded to things that don't affect us, but that impacts our bottom line. The reason I say that is it's people over there that actually are struggling, trying to come up from under this cloak of having no say-so, having no availability, no real access to being able to live a democratic life, to be able to live a life with my own allocation. LeBron is speaking about not speaking out on, and he's saying don't speak out outwardly about that. But I'm like, bro, we ask for people to support us on things that that affect us.
Yeah.
So you can't be absent. Like, we didn't even need your input. That's how I feel about it, because that's a touchy subject. Because now you just sound like anybody else is like, we don't need to be talking about that.
Hey, but I mean, if you silent, then you complicit. So
No, but LeBron is more like, but America, we never. It's not like Daryl Morey or anybody like sends tweets, like, because a lot of people don't even know the full story about what's going on over there. Exactly. So it's like, if you don't know the full story what's going on out of that, don't speak on it. Like, because it's deeper than just, oh, I'm riding with them because I feel like it's some real political stuff. Yeah. And for you to have a platform of being Daryl Morey, you are the representation of the largest Asian versus basketball team in the league.
I mean, and then you speak on something that
you should know more than anybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, at the same time though, I kind of feel what is his words though, because
I agree with it.
China kind of fucked off. You can't even watch Winnie the Pooh in China. You know what I'm saying?
You need a whole VPN.
What's your VPN, bro?
They black out a bunch of movies and it's like it's certain they don't have access to.
Hey, bro, people
you gotta have a VPN.
Yeah, people start making fun of the president of China, saying that he like Winnie the Pooh, and he like, fuck it, you can't watch this shit no more.
Exactly.
You know,
like Trump, he said
that's crazy ass shit, bro.
Is it true that you can only have so many kids over there?
Yeah.
And you can't, be on Facebook.
I understand.
You can't be on Facebook.
Well, what happened? It's a shortage. What? It's a shortage of women around there also, because they had gotten rid of so many female babies trying to build the population of men now.
Damn,
It's
that's crazy.
like that's one of the few places in the world where
Well-
men outnumber women.
Well, the reason they did that though, because they imposed a population limit because it was just
Too many.
too many people.
Mm.
So like if you have a child and the child's a girl, in their eyes, a male child is more valuable to them than a girl child is. So they really ain't trying to have this girl child. If we can only have two, and you know,
That's crazy.
Right.
so yeah.
Those full of fucking men.
Yeah.
Two is new because it used
But they
to
got a
be
few of
one
them.
for a long
You
time.
think they got a few of them barbershops like the one in
Bro,
Atlanta?
blood.
Hey, but nah,
We ain't
like,
we ain't gonna talk about
but it's like we talking on a global level, but we also have had some stuff going on here that's close to home on a real like somber note. First of all, rest in peace to Tatiana
Yes.
Jefferson, because the way she passed and the whole situation was just a dim light, and I just want to send my regards out to her family. And
Shout out to
those
Harrison Barnes too, man.
that
Yeah.
affected her. But
Paying for
yeah,
the
shout out to
funeral,
Harrison Barnes for stepping up and paying for the funeral services and all the family needs, because it's certain things like that where we take things for granted. When we wake up every morning,
Mhm.
especially in this climate.
Oh, man.
Like, I was telling y'all about the situation where I was at the movies last night, and they had the Trump rally downtown at American Airlines, and being out there around all of that right there, man, it
What's that
just,
around all that? Yeah,
because I saw so much
know how you
red.
feel, yeah.
I felt like I was in the ops territory as a crip.
You had to put
know
your
what I'm
back
saying?
against the wall,
I'm
like you had to put your back against the wall.
I'm like, hey, man, what the
Yeah,
fuck going on around here? It's like, and it's crazy that we're in that climate, when that political climate where we have that adverse reaction to just somebody who has a different quote unquote political view than
It's like
us.
gang shit now.
It's
not a
like two
political
gangs.
view.
No, that's why I said quote unquote,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's supposed to be you supporting the president, but it's like this shit didn't shift and left
It's on
so
some other
much.
shit
I'm
now.
looking at you like, bitch, fuck you.
We got
You know what I'm
beef.
saying? Like,
We got real beef. I don't even know you.
I don't
Let
even
me
know
still
you,
make America
bro,
great.
like-
Make America
like,
great
I
again.
see
Put
that
a hat
shit.
on Nick.
Like,
Walk by,
when you
knock it off.
hey,
You
man,
a goofy.
I'm walking around there looking like, man, one of these motherfuckers try to sneak
Please
me.
say something.
I'm wanting them on these motherfuckers.
And
Like, I'm going down.
But it's
to
like
the
whenever
Power
you see,
Club.
like me and my girl was eating brunch one day, and a family came in, and I guess it was the parents and then one of their children and their mate. They had on Trump 2020 shirts. And I couldn't even really enjoy my food. I was like, what's wrong with you?
Because-
I was like, you see that bullshit?
But
like, I
Donnie-
genuinely got mad.
But Donnie, when you really, don't you know, when you act like that, you really reflecting what we see in them acting towards us when it comes to Black Lives Matters and things like that. Like what I saw, like you said, Donnie, Antoine, you said I saw them, man. When I pulled out, they was parking all the way back to the West End area. So I was parking, and lo and behold, like normally if somebody handicapped, I let them go past me. But today it was just too many people. I was like,
you talk about me.
but listen.
I don't give a fuck about you being in
I
a
drove.
wheelchair.
So it's right there by the spaghetti warehouse. They didn't close it down, and I kind of like zoomed past him. He looked at me, and he probably looked at me at that one point in time. If he never did, you fucking nigga.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why we gotta make.
He said it to himself.
But listen, you can tell he was like that. But
said it to
I
himself.
think what I'm getting at, I think they on edge just because they think we limiting them the right to whoever they want to vote for,
Right.
and I think that's what we need to look
Well,
at.
you
They
guys-
have freedom to vote whoever they want.
Yeah, but I
But
just don't
it's
see
a
how they
reason-
can support
Now
that.
it's a reason.
the
It's
shit
a
he
reason
stand
why they
for.
want to vote for.
It always is.
Yeah, they got that.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's a reason
Like-
because there's no logical reason. You ever seen
How
this?
you vote for Donald Trump
like
as
real talk, because
president?
I sit back and watch
I
his
saw a lot of
rally.
black people.
I done sit back and watch
Oh yeah,
one of his
and they can
rallies.
stay their ass over there.
Y'all remember when he was on WWE?
Yeah,
Bro,
I remember that shit.
That's how he do it. That's how
his
he
same
act.
rally.
Bro.
Yeah, that's how you act at a
He don't be
rally.
talking
as a
about
president.
shit about-
You know what I'm
about
saying? Like he
politics.
doing like
Yeah.
he doing that same.
He a hype
He doing
man.
his same little demo or dialogue from WWE. He get on stage running for president and do that same shit.
yeah.
And these folks rant and rave
Love
and
that.
holler like
Like
this
he
shit is.
on
And
The
every time they
Simpsons or
cheer, he do the same shit. He lift his head up like he in a big arena.
Yeah.
And how-
Like
and-
fresh
and-
off the
and-
Simpsons.
Right.
Hey, honestly, this is a plus and a minus because what you're seeing is New America is tired of seeing the same old political nomenclature
Yeah.
of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like the same old.
No,
I'm
that's
saying-
but
nomenclature.
what happened is that's the scary part about it, because it's a certain thing as having balance to it.
Right.
Like when you going so far left, because all right, perfect example. Arnold Schwarzenegger got a new goddamn movie.
Man, I want this. I'm
And
tired of this
I'm
senior
sitting
citizen
there
action
looking at
shit.
myself, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's in
I think
he's in the new
Terminator's gonna be
Terminator.
dope. I think it's gonna be dope.
You think so?
Man,
Hell, Lisa Connor look 90.
but I'm just sitting there looking. I'm like, how the fuck was this nigga the governor of California?
Hey, but no, you don't remember.
But-
No,
No,
hold
no,
on,
no,
hold
can't
on,
even
hold on, hold
understand
on.
what he's saying.
Do y'all
I'm sitting
remember?
there
Do
looking
y'all
like,
remember
how the
that
fuck?
one movie he did, Last Action Hero, and it said it was subliminal in the back that said Arnold Schwarzenegger will be president.
Well, we ain't
Literally,
that
that was in the early. That was
Yeah,
in the
that
early.
ain't
No,
gonna
but that was in the early '90s.
I don't think
he ended up becoming
I
governor.
don't think American.
No, that's what I'm saying. He can't.
Yeah, he
Right.
can be.
But Jesse Ventura was fucking governor of Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah.
But Ronald Reagan was an actor.
Yeah,
Before.
true.
That's fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
They look at
I
us.
mean-
We look at them now like they used to look at us with our Obama 08 shirts on.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
walk around with Obama.
And believe
Oh,
it,
so
So
he
why do
actually
you like him? Is it because
qualified,
he's
though, like-
black?
But see,
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
know
I
what?
say hell yeah.
that's why Trump did the same strategy to win,
yeah,
right?
at real talk though,
But I think
like Donald Trump.
Donald Trump did more division.
No,
What-
no,
what-
Donald
Mike,
Trump.
Mike?
Donald Trump is a direct result of Barack Obama. Like
Yeah.
that's just like a swing of the pendulum. Like
Yeah.
it went
Yeah.
way this way.
Oh, y'all wanna
and it's
do-
not gonna go way that
We'll
way.
show you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Right, you ain't like, we'll teach you.
Yeah.
We'll teach
And-
you.
And Trump did the same strategy on getting the people he got followers.
Yeah.
He did the same strategy. Obama was like, our great hope. You know what I'm saying? You got these people, and like I said, he went up in the Appalachian Mountains and promised these small country towns,
Coal and
like
coal mining
all this
jobs.
stuff, and like all
We
these
don't
coal,
use
like,
coal.
well, man, yeah, I'm here for y'all.
Right,
When
they
they,
don't use
you
that
know,
shit.
the motherfuckers don't hear from us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They don't
And they
hear from us.
really think
They
them
don't-
them backwood motherfuckers really
He
think
don't
that he
fuck
got
with
their best interest
Yeah,
in
but
heart.
real
He
talk,
don't.
like-
And the thing about it is they use public service just as much as
Yeah.
when it comes to them, you got to look at the social classism and capitalism, and he took advantage of he took advantage of their moral honesty. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's not more honesty. It's just like a more like it's not really an honesty about it. It's like a front so they can like push the views they want to push. Cause they push all these crazy ass idealisms when they say it's off of religious background. But really, like if you really study your religion ain't teaching you none of the shit that you push.
Hell no.
You know. So he know that like it's identity politics. Like that's basically the Republicans' whole goddamn premise on how they get people to vote for them. That's why people in Mississippi living in a trailer park on food stamps vote Republican, cause they ain't voting. They vote against their own self-interest.
Exactly.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So
But they've been using that since like forever, especially in the civil rights movement, where they wanted to make the poor white
yeah,
feel like he was still superior to
Yeah.
the black, even though we have the same struggle. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so, speaking of that, Fred Hampton, that was one of the things he fell short on because when he passed, because he wasn't able to. He actually was working on making that one combination of all the partisan or the underprivileged populations or I
Well-
can't speak today, like the demographics, because they actually had footage of him on the documentary where he had met with the Mexican the Mexican committee. He had met with the Italians. He had met with everybody pretty much, and they had started basically having meetings. Martin Luther King was about to be a part of the march on poverty. Like that didn't have a color.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't want, because once we start realizing we had the same
Yeah.
problems.
Class.
yeah. It's a class problem. It's not. It's never been
Exactly.
a race problem. It's a class
Exactly.
problem. And that's how they stopped any movement. That's how the women's movement got stopped. You know what I'm saying? They separated white women and black women.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how you stop any movement. Like you get them thinking about the petty shit, not thinking about what they actually have
Right.
in common.
Because even
Right.
rich black people don't understand, bro. You rich.
Yeah.
Stop acting like you poor.
Yeah.
Right.
You in that class, bro.
Exactly.
Now you
Because
not
they
in
try
this
to
class.
relate. You like it's almost like the guilt
Yeah.
of making it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like don't dumb yourself down.
Right.
I hate when I see that too. Somebody who's
You see it a lot.
they dumb themselves
Yeah.
down to kind of make themselves fit in. It's like no, we should be trying to get to you.
We
bro.
need to get to your level.
So we don't need you giving out, a small time aura mindset. We need you to be bigger in what you want to do. Your
Right.
goals should be to be bigger than just the block or fitting in with the niggas you grew up with.
Because the worst thing you can do for a poor person is be one.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Real talk.
That's real talk.
that's a bar,
That's real talk. You're trying. That's real shit.
man.
But- No, I say that. Now, I mean, it go back to what I was asking you, man. And I got to ask you, Prescott, you think we should own prisons? You think black people should invest their interest into prisons and rehabilitation centers?
Michael Jordan do it.
No, this
That's
the wrong way.
Hey, look, real talk. The whole idea that somebody like privatized prisons is asinine. That's
crazy.
It's the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
The government is the only people who can put somebody in prison.
Right.
So why would you like sub that out to somebody else? It's retarded.
Because it's basically because it's somebody else's personal gain.
It
Right.
created it created at the time. It created an ecosystem, kind of like how they privatized, like how they did mortgages at one point in time, and subliminally they gave it to, like, it was a way to boost it. They looked at it a way to boost the economy and get their pockets rich.
Right.
However, my question is, as we see that they incarcerate us, but we leave it up to them to rehabilitate our culture. So that's an epidemic, and they come out here and they screw. Why can't we get monetization off of it, and we rehabilitate
the thing
our
is,
own?
Because first of all, it's a conflict of interest to try to rehabilitate. No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because money is the root of all evil.
The love of money.
The love of money. Because when you go, first of all, it always starts out with a nice perspective or a nice idea. But at some point, you're still going to try to push the bottom line. So the rehabilitation will get lost in because that's what happens. Like, look at us, and I hate to say it, look at some of the HBCUs, the misappropriation of funds. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, because I hate to say it, it's like, all it takes is one bad apple or one or one person that's trying to get an ill gain out of the situation for the whole movement to be led astray. And so that's why I think it's a dangerous game when it comes to the prisons investing into it, because it's like, okay, you're making money off of the back of people still going to jail. I don't care what your plan for them is when you get there.
Yeah,
you know what
We still make up 50% of the
if you
jail
start to make a
population.
certain amount of money from these people in jail, unless people start going to jail, you like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest problem with privatizing any type of prison, anything. Like, prison should never be privatized at all.
Right.
Like, there's no way I can't send another person to jail.
Yep.
You know. So why should I be able to make any kind of profit off of that?
That's like a student making money off of somebody going
My
to
thing
ISS.
is, we talking about
Right.
you guys act like I'm bringing up something that don't already exist. It's just not. It's just in another culture hands that runs it.
You said that we should do it. What I'm saying is,
It's
like,
already-
we are the majority. We are the target audience. So it's like,
what I'm saying is,
it would be a conflict of interest for us to build more, because what's going to happen?
I look at it differently.
First of all, how do you invest into
so
a
you
jail?
saying you'll build a bigger, better prison?
No, what I'm saying is I look at it
Yeah,
differently. I think
I
I
get
look.
what you're saying.
I look.
It's,
No,
you still got to fill that jail with somebody, though.
it's already like we're not affecting. All right, we're not affecting the criminal justice system on who goes to jail or not.
Right.
Well, our
You're
job
housing
is,
them.
like, after the fact, we're housing them and rehabilitating them back. That's where the conflict of interest is not.
But then
because
what
we're not.
Your conflict of interest, I'm about to say, your conflict of interest, though, is the fact is, if you're rehabilitating them, that means you're trying to dwindle the population of jail, right? So you're going to lose money in the long run, because you're going to have less people coming in. For your goal is to have less people coming to jail, right?
But I think his point is that we're not talking about the number. We don't affect the numbers that go to jail. We're trying to affect the rehabilitation. So since we can't control who coming in, because they're going to keep sending us in, but we keep sending better ones out. That's
okay, so I can
But
see
like
that idea,
that-
but what are you doing with the funds?
See,
the
that-
funds
that's-
would need to
the
go
funds
back
gonna stay
into our culture
Okay, see,
in a
yeah,
good and for a good fast.
I get what he's saying, but that's a horrible business model. You know,
Because
just
But
to be honest with
if you
you.
know the government finna send the same amount of people into jail, my funds stay the same.
My problem is not the idea; it's the fact of having that faith in the humans to do right by it. Because the idea and the infrastructure of America was supposed to be democratic, but politics and the people that run it, what happens is you're still conflicted when it comes to.
I'm just saying right now, it's a lot of billionaires has gotten rich off prisons, and you guys are looking at a lot of the social issues of it, and I'm looking at it straight from a capitalist. We need capital to build our next big idea, to get our next generation to another level However, I'm looking at it straight where the money is. You like, well, what if it run out? If it runs out, move to something else. Move to real estate. If it runs out, move to this.
Why you can't just invest in strengthening the ones that we already in filling in? Hell, you could do that just by
you told me investing in what?
Some of these HBCUs.
Okay,
look at it like this.
But you, all right, you looking at
before you put money into prisons. Why we can't put money into infrastructures that are already open?
That's a real
to keep our young men out of prison.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why go to another investment when we are not even
why limit you? And my thing is, why limit yourself to just one investment?
No, but we're not even actually pouring into that investment yet. Okay. You got to understand what I'm saying. You went to an HBCU.
Because me, I'm not investing in a prison.
I think what it is, the thing is, I understand your whole point. But I think you still trying to negate on why my point ain't valid.
I'm not saying it's not valid. I'm just saying it wouldn't make sense to skip to that one when we got other things that
it's already epidemic and we there.
I get you.
And we also in school too.
It's a little morally unbalanced. I'll give you that.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, but I mean, it is a valid way to make money. You know, if you can deal with that, if you can look at yourself in the mirror and feel like you okay with doing that, then you know.
Hell, we can also finance ourselves. That's just like the government funding themselves with the country war, for the country war with cocaine. Yeah, it's like, it's an investment to fight something for good, but I'm like, God damn, we gotta suffer to make money.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's not like you're gonna go in there and send these people in there and they come out being great. But I'm like, all right, how about we do it like this? If we're going to invest and make this a rehabilitation spot, everybody that come out of here and they finish their course, we're going to get them a stipend to be able to go to a university. It's like you got to have something on top of it. You got to have a depth to it. You can't just basically say, we're going to build a jail, because we're not going away from anything that they're doing. Because we can claim that we are rehabilitating, but that takes that person that's actually there, and those individuals that's actually there to actually stand by their job and the honor code of actually having the best interest at heart.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Be used differently.
That's the problem, because it's always an issue with you having, like, we have schools that want to focus on giving the resources to people that are underprivileged, but we also have motherfuckers that ain't giving the kids none of the attention at those schools. Right. So it's like your money is still at the mercy of human.
Yeah, and that's why you remember when you sent me that text this morning, I was just like, it's cool as long as you, like, if you really like putting your efforts in the right place, and actually trying to rehabilitate somebody and not trying to serve your own interests, on some look at me type shit, or I'm finna promote this or promote that or whatever you trying to do behind it. And you gonna use these people who pretty much at a disadvantage as your prop to get whatever agenda you got across, you know. And that's what most people, most people, when they doing a nonprofit, they doing any type of charity work, it's not for those people. It's for you to say, look at me doing this stuff for these people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if I guess it's good in a certain extent, but it's not in the true
it's a good
spirit
idea
of it all. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just speaking of it from a more in-depth perspective. Like, because you look at it from a capitalist point of view, but as a capitalist, you also are trying to make money. At the end of the day, that's gonna be the bottom line for a capitalist, is to make money. So it's like so you can't have two wives when it comes to the situation. What is gonna be your lead agenda? Because that's why most things that push for good are supposed to be nonprofits. Because
I also think that it'll push an ecosystem where if you have a black-owned prison, that means with pushing their own agenda, meaning they can push their doctors and nurses and true rehabilitation centers for their own to get back into society. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you still getting these funds that's coming through. We already got the health bill there, so we can get health care. So that's already there. Obama already planted them seeds. We also need to put ourselves in the games that our other cultures that's playing that's getting rich is all I'm getting at. Like, we can't, just because it's morally wrong, but it's still flowing through. We not like, and that was the issue with the drug war and why now they realize like we got to let some of these laws go. Cause shit, y'all was bringing in the dope in the 80s and it was fueling. This money was helping during the recessions of the Reaganomics. This was helping them getting rich and pushing the economy. But the blacks right there found a way to make the money, and that's how they looked at it. They saw how they affected the economy affected their own people,
But they found ways to make money off of it, but they also fucked up a whole generation in the process.
Right. You're right. I mean, end of the day, though,
you can't dispute that.
Nah.
And you got a whole bunch of dope boys that got glory stories.
Yep.
But the difference where I see if the government is already putting 50% of our people into jails, and we own that jail, like you said, the disbursement of them billions got to be different.
Yeah.
Where the difference between the dope game is we was the one fucking our own people.
Right.
But in this case, we just own the house that the government who's fucking our people would send them to. Right. And if we do a better job of sending them back out, like you said, like if you make it out this program, I'll send you to college.
Exactly. Or I'm gonna give you a stipend.
Then you do have two wives. You making your building and you helping your society. So
I mean that it sounds great.
It sounds good.
It sounds real good.
Great. But, once you get in there,
human nature.
Yeah. But and another thing, how many prisoners that's in prison that really need rehabilitation would give a fuck if it's owned by black or white?
Yeah.
I mean,
they still gonna do what they do in there.
And if you're gonna do like prison rehabilitation, like I think a lot of people when you think about prison, you think about punishment.
Yeah.
Like. And he'll feel like, oh, he not being punished enough for what he's doing.
Right.
He's like, this is too easy for him. Yeah, it's too easy for him in jail. But that's not how you shouldn't think about somebody in jail as a punishment for them. You thinking about making them a better person so
when they come out, so they not harboring that same anger.
Yeah, they don't bust your head when they get out. Right, you gotta let them out at some point. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you think about prison, but that's not how we think about it here
at all.
Not
at all.
But yeah, man, I'm glad we touched on that. We could touch on that a lot. But I wanted to get into some correspondence with our guest. About his initiative and pretty much his platform. Like I said, we have Prescott Mack in the building. Y'all have heard his input. Yeah, and so we just wanted to give him the platform right now to just tell us a little bit about the Dallas Skyline Basketball Club and the basketball league, CBL, that was curated and started here in Dallas, right?
No, it was started actually based out of Indiana.
Okay, yeah. So tell us about it.
Indiana. So the TBL, the basketball league, is a professional basketball league that serves as the third tier of the United States. So if you go to any other country in basketball, there's different divisions, right? So you go to Germany, their version of the NBA is called the BBL. And then they have Pro A, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
Pro A, and then they have Pro B. And overseas, nobody considers those Pro A and Pro B minor league or semi-pro.
Right.
But in United States, if you're not the NBA, all of a sudden you're semi-pro or minor league, which semi-pro is semi-pro. That means your player's not getting paid. You're basically a glorified adult league.
Right.
But what we are is kind of changing that paradigm and saying we are pro. Even though we're not the NBA, we're pro. Our players get paid. Our teams play the same amount of games. Our teams all wear the same type of uniforms. We have legit owners. We travel. These are legit organizations. These are pro basketball organizations. So if we were in any other country, we'd be considered Pro B.
Right.
So that's what the TBL is. The owner of the TBL is a female, first black woman to ever own a professional male basketball league. The president of our league is an ex-NBA player who used to be the commissioner of the NBL Canada, the pro league in Canada. And there's 14 teams in the league this season. We have like old CBA markets that we have rebirthed. Dallas Skyline is a expansion team in this league. So the league has been around for 3 years. We're an expansion team. We came into this market in March. And since we've been building this market, we just actually had our press conference last Monday with the city of Addison. The city of Addison's mayor was there and is a big supporter. And we play in the 75. Well, it seats 11,000. We're not going to fill 11,000 this first year, but it seats 11,000 people in our arena, the Lowe's Fieldhouse in Addison, Texas. And we got one of the biggest markets in the league. So we have a task, but what makes us unique and what allowed the league to let us have a team in Dallas, even though we have the Texas Legends, the G League team, and then we have the Mavericks, who's the NBA team. But where we still have a niche is because the Metroplex is a Metroplex. We got 200 cities in the Metroplex. So we can find a different market and still not compete. We don't compete with the Mavericks. We don't compete with the Legends. We don't want no parts of that. But we are the same distance from the NBA as we are from semi-pro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the NBA is that much higher than us as we are higher than any minor league or semi-pro league. So I'm the owner of the team. We have had our open tryouts. We had our first open tryout September 8th, and we're still building our training camp roster right now. So we got about 20, 25 guys on our list that we got to cut down to 12, and we'll play 12 home games at Lowe's, and we'll play 15 home games with our three preseason games. Preseason starts January 12th.
Okay.
And then we got January 19th and January 26th for preseason. And we're still waiting to announce our full game schedule. But it's gonna be fun. We got Dallas Fly Girls. We got a little dance team.
Okay. Speaking of tryouts, I don't mean to cut you off.
You in on them tryouts?
I'm finna be.
I was just about to ask.
If you did guess, how?
Not the girls, but as far
okay.
as the male players, I know it had to be a lot of hoop dreamers that came in there.
Man, so have you ever been to a Texas, like a G League open tryout?
No.
Like a G League will do open tryouts, and no disrespect to the
I
G
didn't know
League.
they had.
No, I did see. No, I saw Gilly the Kid. He had a YouTube video where he went and tried out for the Sixers.
Oh, so he actually tried out?
Gilly did?
Yeah.
They do open tryouts. You pay your money,
didn't
you
know
can
that.
come in. This year, the Texas Legends
I
had
can
an open
imagine.
tryout at Prestonwood Baptist Church in Plano,
Yeah.
and they had a girl try out. Like
Word.
you took her money.
Yeah,
and
that ain't right.
You
No, you
know
not
she
No, she ain't gonna make the
Exactly.
team.
Cause she
That
ball
ain't
though.
right.
Nah.
It's not the point. It's
She
not,
wasn't even one of, she
that
wasn't
ain't-
even one of those like super nice women that can hoop.
Yeah.
she just wanted to do it.
She just wanted to do it, and they'll let anybody.
How much it cost?
For a G League,
Yeah,
it was
that
like
shit
$250 at least.
It's like I get out there and hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like
Die for a couple loose balls.
Pat Beverly the situation.
like
you
make-
know,
Hey,
I'm
real
right.
talk. Her Instagram popping, buddy. It was popping in that
Man,
moment.
I was like, bro, they got they really like let her try out. But
Knowing that they not accepting.
Nah.
other than that, our tryout actually has 60. We had 60 guys there, and it was like some dogs.
Really?
I maybe had one player that I was like, he don't belong.
Right.
And it's funny because my head coach, when we was making cuts, because we made cuts in the middle of the tryout, and my head coach didn't, like, we was trying to fill one more spot, and he called out this dude's name. And when I was like, okay, cool. So we called out his name, and then we see him on the court, like, hell, how he make top 40.
Damn.
So it's funny, but yeah, we had some dogs in our tryout, and we got like, even on this 25, like me being the GM and controlling the roster, it's tough.
So what do you look for though? Like what's like a factor that can be like, okay, he can be on the team.
I mean, I gotta put a puzzle piece together, so I can't have like 12 LeBrons.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
And I gotta put a puzzle piece. Me being in the game so long, I mean, I understand what it takes, like what each piece I need. So I'm looking to fill each piece.
Right,
Like
right,
I need a scorer. I need, like, my first ever signing, Charlie Shorter. He from Garland, Texas. He is a walking 40.
A bucket.
Literally.
Yeah,
Like,
a living
two
bucket.
he's a
He's a
1-2.
1-2.
And he won't guard a soul, but he's a walking.
So he like a he like a
He Lou Williams.
he like Carmelo
literally.
Nah,
Yeah,
he
but
Lou Williams.
he only like 6'2", 6'3", so he
Lou ain't gonna
literally
guard
a Lou
nobody.
Williams.
Yeah, like
He is
Lou
a
Williams.
walking
Don't ask
bucket.
me to go under no
Yeah,
screen.
None of that.
No,
No
none
nothing.
of that. Don't even. Shit,
Damn, Lou,
let me
sweet Lou.
let me leak and let me get the rock, and then I'm going to get a bucket. So yeah, he a walking 40, and we got some pretty big. I only publicize him because he's on contract and I can say his name.
Yeah.
Right.
But we got some dogs. Like, it's gonna be fun to watch, and the level of play of the whole league is crazy. Like Jamarion Moon from
I
the
remember Jamarion
Cavs,
Moon.
he
Yeah.
played for the Albany Patroons last year.
Over it.
One of the teams, or two of the teams in our league, were old CBA markets. So the Albany Patroons, that's where Phil Jackson coached before the
Okay,
NBA.
okay.
So like these are legit markets, legit teams.
Yeah.
And the competition is crazy.
And it's talent in those leagues. That's why I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, because I hate hearing people say they'll say somebody in the NBA like, "Oh, he trash."
Right.
I'm like, bro, do you
And they
realize
will
how
whoop
hard it
your
is
ass.
Get to the
Like,
league.
just to get to the end of that bench to be on the active
Exactly.
roster,
Yeah,
not
just-
touch? You know how
Just do to the
good
G
it gotta
League.
be.
Don't come
just
to open
catch
gym
him in
and
the gym.
kill
Yeah,
it.
It will make you feel
it.
like
It won't
I'm
break
in
a
the wrong
sweat.
sport.
Yeah.
It won't break a sweat.
The
Yeah.
crazy is the gap between the best player in the league and the worst player in the league is not.
It's not that
far.
big. Yeah, right.
It's like more about I just can't fit into the structure. You got to
Right.
think it's certain players that I'm just a hooper,
Right.
but they got me in here because I can shoot or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, but if you was to put me, LeBron, and all of them in the same, just in open gym where it's
Yeah.
well, we 1-on-1 in it,
Right.
I'ma eat. You
Yeah.
know,
Think
Like
about
that, like the
Lance.
LA Fitness in LA where they all be hooping on
no,
top.
in New York, and
is it New
Rico
York?
Hines too, and New
Oh,
York.
man,
They
when they be
like,
showing
man,
them
he
clips.
out there look like an all-star, but put him in a 5-on-5 and tell him to
Yeah.
defeat of his own. You
Right.
know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It's
Right,
like.
right.
Fit in the system. Like Lance. Lance ain't on an NBA roster right now. Like
That's crazy. To me.
that's he can still hoop.
He can
He's
still
28
play.
years old.
He averaging 40 in
And
China.
averaging 40 in China. That's crazy. I
That
think my
because
little,
he ain't giving a fuck about nobody else on
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
team.
they just said,
Oh.
Give me the ball.
hey, Lance, go make them dance. For real.
Right.
They want to see
Play
all
your
that.
guitar.
my little cousin played at Texas Tech, Tajik Gocha. He in Turkey right now and just had 19 like 2 nights ago. And I think he can be in the league, but it's just that like, and he is a shooter.
Yeah.
Like I think if him and Steph shot together, and now Steph is a different level, so no disrespect to Steph.
Right.
But if they shooting,
You saying the
if they
disparity wouldn't be
both
crazy.
shoot 20,
Yeah.
they both gonna probably hit the same amount. Cause my cousin can shoot, but
Yeah, them,
there's things that Steph can do that's small
right.
that my cousin can't do, and that's
Yeah.
why he over there making 6 figures and Steph making millions.
And that's real because, like, you ever just seen an NBA player, not even an elite shooter, just shooting open gym, wide open jumpers?
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
All net.
it's all net.
He went.
It's like, boy, this
Yeah.
boy is.
That
I'm
muscle
like, why he
memory
don't do this in the
crazy.
league? It's
Yeah,
like,
it's
it's
the
muscle
form,
memory,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, I've been doing this so long.
So long.
I
So many
perfected.
hours. Yeah.
I know when my shot off before, as soon as it leave my hand,
Right.
you know, like, and so, tell us about basically how it started, or how did you basically begin with the league? You know, how was it presented to you?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm a sports agent by trade, so I've been in the business for 8 years now. So way I started with the president, you know, he, like I said, he was the commissioner of Canada. So the way I got close to him is I used to run exposure events for different players. Like,
Okay.
so I would run these events all over the country, and then David Magley started doing these combines for looking for talent for the Canada League all over the United States. So I had one scheduled in Orlando, and I asked him, could I make my exposure event an official NBL Canada event? He said, yeah. So that's how it started. The relationship started. But then when he started this league, he's a genius, man. Like, I watched him because they're Christian they're a Christian family, so they do everything to the utmost integrity. And so when he was getting ready to start this league, he didn't touch anything for the league until after his responsibilities were done with Canada.
Yeah.
So that was like Canada ended 2016 in June, and he built the league from June, like started the next year in January. From June to January, he built the league with 8 and got 8 teams, 8 owners, filled every roster, logos, website, everything, built this whole business in 8 months, basically, or 6 months, basically. So first year, successful year. Like, he didn't fold, nothing. Successful year. Then the second year comes around and even adds more teams and still have a great year. So now this is coming into the third year, and my job for the league was really to solicit franchises. So I was supposed to go around, find rich people that want to own a professional basketball team, and say, and they, you know, pay their franchise fee. So to own a team in the league is $400. Well, now it's $400,000, but starting off it was $150. And so finding people that got $150,000 to own a professional basketball team, but that's just to buy the team and then have another $150 to operate throughout the year and
I
pay
was like,
salaries and all that.
I'm only $149,000 away, baby.
Hey, man, we pull our shit together.
Pull it
Right.
together,
We
man.
We
might
got it.
be able to do something.
Exactly.
They're going to check my 401k. You know
I
what
got
I'm
a check
saying?
today, so, you know, I'm
Yeah.
looking good.
But no, so, man,
So, yeah, I sold a couple franchises, and then I was like, so I sold a Dallas franchise. and it was called the Dallas Redbirds. At first, it was gonna be based out of South Dallas in Redbird. Like it got real serious. And when I sold the franchise, they made me the GM of the team, and it was owned by two ex NFL players and then another entrepreneur in Dallas. Well, they couldn't get it right with the league. They couldn't agree with the league, so the team was about to just go away. This was in March, and I thought about it, prayed about it, and was like, and I texted him. I was like, so if I come up with the money, can I own the team? And he was like, yeah, if you come up with the money, yeah, the team is yours. So I did it.
You came up with $400K or
No.
150.
I got a discount.
I'm like, man, put me on the game. How you? Like,
My franchise
who was you? Who
200.
was you asking, bro? Because I got some shit.
Yeah.
All
I want a
need is
team too.
investors.
I got a lot of ideas.
A lot of ideas, bro.
I still am. I'm looking for some partners to help me get a couple 150 back of my investment.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm sole owner. And I came up with it and started my franchise and started building it in March, and it's gotten to where it is now, and it's getting real. Like once we just had our press conference last week. It's still surreal to me because I'm still like young, and still so like fresh in my career that I don't. It's still like, bro, you own a whole professional basketball team. Like this ain't no semi-pro team. This ain't no like AAU.
Do you feel like it's a lot on your plate because now you're also gonna have to maintain and deal with egos of grown men? You know what I'm saying? It's like because the infrastructure goes deeper than just the name. Now is like
Exactly.
you're dealing with real personnel. So, I don't know if anybody else got any question in reference to that, but what I wanted to speak on is more about the thing as far as creating your own opportunity.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you are part of this league where they just open the door for more people to have a platform
Right.
to produce. We see a lot of things right now that's going on with, the professional leagues and how also, the NCAA and the Black Athlete,
Right.
the dynamic of the Black Athlete. Because, it's like the man in the arena. I always thought to myself, though, when people say, oh, we start our own leagues and everything like that, how feasible do you think something like that is now since you've basically been starting with creating a franchise from
Right.
scratch? Like, do you see that as something that would be feasible as far as the infrastructure?
Yeah, like that's kind of where our niche is. Like we are an alternative to the NCAA, because they're not gonna get paid $10,000 a month like they supposedly did with the JBA, but it's for that kid that's like top 50 and doesn't want to go to the league. Like that's something I'm looking for. I'm looking for that player that or doesn't want to go to college. I'm looking for that player that wants to use us to jump to the league or use us to jump to overseas, then jump to the league. So we do provide that opportunity because you can come out of high school and you can play for us. If you can play. Actually, one of our teams in our league will have like high school kids that or high school graduates or prep school kids that they picked up from being high level high school and now they play pro instead of going to college. So that's what's gonna make our league go viral, to be honest, and it's gonna piss some people off. But it's always when you change paradigms, you always gonna piss some people off.
Man.
Hey, and speaking of that, and I think you're right. You do have a good lane because until I don't think all 50 states is gonna pass a bill as rapid as what
As
LA
Cali,
as
yeah.
Cali did.
Yep.
So it's when it start affecting their pocket because they already know D-Wade's son and LeBron's son.
Right.
If they keep the rule as it is 1 year college, they gonna go to UCLA.
Well, D.
or
Wade's
whatever.
son is senior, so it
senior.
ain't gonna be it's not gonna be started by the time he get to college because it
Oh,
starts
it's
in
not-
2023.
Yeah.
It starts in 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, so around that time, if they don't enact these laws or wherever these bills that they want to pass, now's a good opportunity for
Right.
you to go and get the LaMelo Balls or whatever that don't
Right.
want to go to college,
Right.
and they can keep their publishing rights, and they
Exactly.
also help build your brand.
Or it's been people that created lanes like the kid that did an internship with
Yeah.
With
Under
New
Armour or New Balance and then went to the league. But I think this whole thing and my goal for Dallas Skyline was to create a platform, and not just even with sports. Like I just like what keeps me up at night and with so much pressure is one, this thing got so real that I can't fail it. Like now I'm so much in the public eye that if I fail, that's also in the public eye. So that's what is real. Like I can't sleep. Like that's what I'm working. I just got off a plane and to come here because this is work. This is like me getting this word out. Is I need to be here. So but this platform that has been created is a platform that you can touch me. You can get to Dallas Skyline. So if you are a graphic designer, you can contact me and get your feet wet designing for a professional basketball team.
Yeah.
If you are a up and coming choreographer, you can come be the director of the Dallas Fly Girls. Let me sit in on the,
Yeah.
and then
Hey, I just want to be like a talent manager. Of the
Yeah,
Dallas Fly Girls. I feel like I can spot it. I can
That's what
spot the
I'm
good
saying.
talent.
No, but
I got
like,
good eyes.
hey, it's opportunities, and that's what
Opportunities is
it creates because it's a lot of people that are qualified or have potential greatness in them, but you got to get your foot in the door and get some experience somewhere.
Amazing on what $1 billion industry will do with low hanging fruit, right? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Same thing about a prison system. $1 billion, $1 trillion.
Man, this nigga is really running on
Still
that,
on
bro.
it. He's
But no. It's good though because I like we was talking. You in a center market where you can really, really, push towards those high school players and granted, they people in Texas and athletes in Texas think if they get any credit, the stars is the limit. Like especially like any basketball player, any football player. However, if you get some low hanging fruits, like hey man, your SAT wasn't that high, but you're 6'7", and get you over here in Europe,
with a jumper.
Exactly. You
and
never
get you
know.
to Europe in a year, and you know what I'm saying, you still can change your mama lifestyle off 6 figures.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
what's crazy is like, and that's what makes our team so valuable and why like the basketball world, like the public, the natural basketball fan don't know us. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do to get the typical basketball fan to want to buy a ticket, but the basketball world knows exactly who Dallas Skyline is, but part of it is because their owner is an agent. So obviously I'm gonna try to get you overseas. That's another like I can get a little bit of my money back. And then two, my head coach got 20 years experience overseas, and it's just that, and we in a huge market, and basketball in or sports in Texas period is different than any other state. It's like I never playing football in high school. I never played in front of less than 20,000 people.
Absolutely.
Basketball, I never played in front of less than 10,000 people. Like that's normal for us. Being on a big stage and playing a sport in front of thousands. There's not many other states that got their high school games on TV. Live TV.
Shit, some of the stadiums in Texas.
So,
some of the football stadiums. Man.
Allen got
Have you seen McKinney's
$1 million.
new one?
That's where I graduated from.
My brother, the head coach of McKinney High School.
Really? The black dude?
Marcus
the big
Shavers.
big old black dude?
My little brother.
Yeah.
My little big brother.
Yeah.
Or my big little brother.
I was a corner at McKinney High and point guard at McKinney High.
Okay.
2009.
Okay. That's what's up.
Oh, yeah. I just went to their game this year. They lost to North. I was sad.
Yeah, they struggling.
So I got one more question though. So I know you talked about choreographers and you talked about marketing. Your visual digital presence. Like how are you gonna what's your approach on that? Because that sometimes that helps a lot. So who you have in line? Like I know being on NBC is right now was probably a long-term goal, but
actually my so we, like I said, we had our press conference last week. So the president flew in. The president of the league flew in. He was on the plane with NetSmart, Netcast, Net something. I forget who owns, but they own CW. So I might actually be on the CW for my game. So that's a possibility. But I don't even know if I was supposed to say that. But
but I guess again, having your content to put it towards the YouTube pages and also maybe your website where people really watch more activity on their phones and their digital devices. So like, have y'all created a plan to like start running your YouTube pages and having YouTube practices and things of that nature?
I'm still learning about all that stuff. So that's like, I was a marketing major, so I got a very basic knowledge of marketing. And that piece, like when I was in school 6 years ago, marketing is totally different.
Yeah, like
And so that piece, I haven't quite gotten there yet. I do have a marketing team, Forward Solutions, who's based here in Dallas,
Yeah.
who's doing a great job, but I'm still naive to that portion of it, and I know about it, but I don't know how to execute it. So like things like y'all know what the Drew League is?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So things like the Drew League, how many of y'all have watched a full game of the Drew League?
I've never watched the full.
How do you-
Not
how do you-
never.
watch
But
highlights.
how do you know about a Drew League?
but the highlights,
The
the
10
highlights,
seconds.
yeah,
10 seconds at a
and-
time.
and that's what I was getting.
And it's one of the biggest leagues,
Yeah.
pro-am leagues.
Yeah.
But you only watch it for 10 seconds
Yeah.
each time, or 30 seconds. So figuring out how to do that, I haven't gotten there yet. And I just need somebody to be able to get into my brain and into their skill and do that for me. But we still looking.
You spoke on something as far as the change in marketing. It's crazy if we think about it because we have such a short attention span now. It's like you have to catch us and grab us quickly. As we scroll, it's like because if you can see something across your timeline enough, it's like you just basically start paying attention to it.
Right.
If that makes sense, like
Yep.
that's how House of Law highlights and
Mhm.
overtime,
Overtime, killing it right now.
and websites like that have just basically grown. And also what
Started
they
with
did
Balls
is
of Life. Ball
Ball is Life because they touch in on one niche audience.
Right.
Speaking of that, have you seen Overtime on YouTube?
Overtime.
Yeah,
is
overtime.
Crazy.
Yeah,
They done spend it from. They started with just highlights to running their own events, to running their own tournaments, to having their own channel,
Yeah.
to just being like a whole
but
nother
they
ESPN.
they focused on getting close to the talent.
exactly.
It's like
Right.
because that's how important marketing is with the way social media is. You have the accessibility to these people now, especially like the number one thing a young up and coming basketball player or football player wants is the clout that comes with my talent.
Hell yeah.
So it's like I'm gonna give you a platform, but you just gotta promote it. You gotta wear the gear. You gotta just basically, and so you make it look cool. And so all these basketball players and they little hoopers with all these followers, they followers are paying attention to where are they highlights.
Yeah.
How can I see what my favorite high school player
Yep.
has done this weekend in the AAU tournament? You know what I'm saying? It's like I want my ball because Ball is Life set the template
Yeah.
by basically giving you the John. I remember the John Wall mixtape still to
That's
this
my
day.
class, too.
That's how I even found out about. I never knew who John Wall was until I saw his Ball is Life mixtape. I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And now I'm following him all the way to Kentucky, and then you basically look at that's how Zion. I remember Zion came out of
man, he
nowhere.
took off. Yeah,
Zion was dunking on
came out
little
of
white
nowhere.
boys.
But no,
He
that's what I'm
was.
saying. So
He
no,
was.
but the first thing I saw Zion was when he was in the dunk contest at the Elite 24, and I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? 260 in the air.
Jumping like.
Jumping
And
out
so
the gym.
then I saw his regular set. I'm like, oh, he ain't playing nobody.
Yeah.
Right.
So then, like,
But you still seen the
you see
athletic
it. It's
ability.
like,
Like,
he's still not supposed to be doing
I'm
this.
South
looking like,
Carolina
okay,
just-
even if that white boy was
But-
6'2", he'd still get his ass
But
dunked.
that's
Exactly.
how I was looking at it. I'm like, he's still not supposed to be able to do this shit.
Right.
And so that's really what it's like. The players will come if you will put them on the platform. It's
Right.
like if you're pushing my brand, and I think that's gonna be important for y'all, brother. It's like if I can assure that I'm gonna push your brand forward, get you noticed, get you a following, because then with the following comes more brands and opportunities. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I see what you mean by just grabbing activity.
Yeah.
I mean grabbing attention quick.
Them kids want to do drops. I just did my first drop at 28 years old, and I was hyped. This reporter said, "Hey, can I get a drop?" Oh,
What is a drop? Like,
Well, you basically tell
where you
like,
be
hey,
like-
shout out, man.
Yeah.
Listen to so and so.
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
Prescott Mack, and I'm on Unspoken Conversation.
drop.
Drop.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh shit, I got a drop.
Cause you know Charlamagne got his ass whooped trying to
Yeah,
get hey, let me get a
yeah.
drop, bro. Let me get a drop. So nigga, you gotta be cautious how you walk up on
Yeah,
it.
you gotta be
Drop,
cautious,
bro.
dog.
Hey, but yeah, man.
Shit.
All I'm gonna say is man, I'm rooting for you first of all,
Yeah,
Prescott.
yeah,
and the
definitely.
I'm
league
definitely
itself.
checking you. I mean, I live in Addison, so
So
I'm
yeah, I'm gonna pull up to a
definitely-
game.
Game,
Man,
That's-
yeah,
you
me and my
know,
little man,
we
we
need to go-
definitely coming,
For
bro.
sure.
We need to go to a
sure, I
couple
appreciate it.
games, man.
And if I see any hoopers at 24 or something that I got a little
Yeah.
clip, I'm be like, hey,
Nope.
You don't need no
He said no.
Nope. Don't even do it. Don't
Hey,
get into
hey,
it.
now we got a place like, nah, you may, hey, can I go to the league?
No.
Hey, bro.
Hey
You
man,
can't.
Source said I was good.
Yeah, let me
Hey,
go
bro.
and get you down here, Prescott.
A 6'4" lefty who just
Hey,
ain't
I
get a
start
shot.
getting-
Hey, I wanna
start
be an
getting
agent,
texts,
too.
Hey man, my
I'll
man
be like, hey, I'll
said-
be like,
But no, hey, one thing
hey, what's your contact?
And I think this one thing before we transition, touch on what we talked about, how the level of effort that you are demanding and require. It's not and this is where I guess it come on, like, you can't just be hooping at the gym and think
Right.
you're gonna come in here and then
Right.
well, man, my mama called, I gotta go take this.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Explain
It's a
to
commitment.
the
The thing is, you
commitment
used
and
to
the
hoop,
level
so
of
you know
effort
what to
that
look
you
for.
demanding as a GM
Right.
to making it successful.
Like it's you. This is your job or one of your jobs. So like, yes, we are pro. Every player has to get paid. That's a requirement of the league. But that don't mean that I'm paying you $20 equivalent to $20 an hour, $25. Now some people are making that. Some people are making a good living that they can sustain. But you got to understand, and some players will go play overseas, and if everything else is taken care of, they'll accept $1,000 a month because they don't have to spend any money. And that's kind of what we provide here, is like that overseas level. Like, if I sign you for $1,000 a month, or if I sign you for $1,500 a month, then I also have your housing. I also have your meals. I also have.
Oh,
all
okay.
that. So, so this is your job. This
Right.
is, I expect you to be at practices. But even knowing that, like, my coach made the schedule. Like, we planned out our schedule for practices. Like, we'll practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll most likely play Saturday, Sundays. We may play on some Fridays. We may play on some Thursdays. But then Monday, so you got basketball Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, and then Monday will be like a recovery day. We got a player development trainer that will, it might be your skill day. So we'll schedule that. Then we also have to be really big in the community. So you may have, like, you got community responsibility too. So you may have to show up at this school this day. You may have to go to you may have to go to the soup kitchen this day or whatever. But that's part of the league requirements, is we have to be in our community.
That's dope.
We have to be able to be so touchable that, like, if little Johnny is starting to spiral out of control, his mama got issues with him, or he getting bullied at school or something, the principal need to be able to call me and say, hey, can you send one of your guys to come eat lunch with him? And he goes to eat lunch with him, and then now he's a cool kid because one of the Dallas Skyline players just ate lunch with dude. And then he gets invited to the practices and gets to be a part of the practices, gets to be on the court during the game, sit on the bench during the game, and now he has purpose. He has something to live for. And we encourage, like, bro, you can't do this unless you get these grades right. You can't do this if you're getting in trouble in school. And then we just change somebody's life. So that's how touchable we have to be in the community. But then Tuesday we have, we're still looking, but we have somebody in mind that's going to be our sports trainer and massage therapist. So Tuesday might be your massage day or whatever to recover. And the league just got a CBD sponsor too. So
Shit.
we,
That's what's up.
they'll be able to, be a little, they're gonna be straight with recovery.
Yeah, Big
they'll
Three
be
was riding
good.
with that too. I was like, Steve Jack and them balls was pushing the limit. With other shit, you know what I'm
Steve Jack
saying?
said he smoked him a blunt.
So, man, also, so you say the first game, when is the
Preseason.
first preseason game?
Yeah. So how we gonna do training camp is, first of all, we got our training camp roster kind of picked out. We got some spots open, but we have a draft December 7th and 8th, and so we have to draft 2 players. So we'll draft 2 on that weekend, and then our training camp will start January 8th. And what we're doing is training camp January 8th, 9th, 10th. Saturday we'll probably take off. On our first preseason game is going to be more like a midnight madness. So it's going to be a blue versus white game. And so we'll have those 20-25 players play against each other. And from there we cutting. And so then we start, then our real, against other opponents, our real games will start January 19th and January 26th. And though January 26th is scheduled against Fort Hood. It's a military game.
Mm-hmm.
So we playing against Fort Hood military team. And then January 19th, I'm still working on opponents right now, but we'll play. We got it booked, so we'll play January 19th against somebody, and then we may actually travel to Canada for one of our preseason games and play one of the Canadian teams. But But yeah, we start January 12th. That I'm gonna try to make that. What I want to do is make that a big event. Have everybody come out because that's the first time anybody will see the Dallas skyline on the
Right.
floor. So I'm excited about it.
Man, make sure you keep us posted.
For
on
sure,
that
man.
because,
Yeah. When y'all gonna play
Real.
Louisville? I think that'll be
Louisville?
yeah.
Louisville, we'll play them at least 6 times
You gotta
during the year.
Oh,
So you
okay.
won't scrimmage with them? Y'all try to stay
Nah.
away from the scrimmage.
Yeah, because we'll play them because they're here. We'll
Yeah.
play them so much. I don't want our fans to just
Oh,
see
Louisville
us.
has a team?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
2
they
teams
got-
in Dallas.
That's one of the teams that will
I
pick
went
up.
to high school in Louisville. I graduated from Louisville.
Oh,
High
yeah?
School. I didn't
They-
know they had a team.
They
You wanna
just they
join?
came in as
I'm retired.
they came in with us. So they came in like maybe 2 months after us, and they will be one of the teams that bring in a high school
okay.
prospect.
Okay.
So they'll be fun to watch. They'll be young, and I'm trying to like business wise, we're like the Lakers and Clippers because we do a
Okay,
lot
okay,
business wise
okay.
together. But on the court, I'm trying to kick.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
man, that's what's up, man.
Yeah,
That's
that's,
cool.
yeah, that's what's
I'm,
happening.
I'm loving
Yeah, man. That
initiative,
look, I
man.
mean, you really got a solid plan, and hey, more flowers come to you, man.
For sure.
Real,
Appreciate
for
it.
real.
And if y'all need a DJ for the arena, just holler at me.
We do have a DJ Queen Agnes. I gotta
Okay,
shout her out.
okay.
She
Oh,
Shout out to
lady
Queen
DJ.
Agnes.
Okay.
yeah, Queen
Hey,
Agnes.
push the culture forward.
Yeah, she African, so she lit, and she if y'all know DJ Poison Ivy
yeah.
from the Mavericks, so she's like one of her descendants. So
Okay.
she nice, and she's a dope DJ. But we always can have some
Hey.
guest DJs. You never know.
doubt.
Hey man, so before we move on from that situation, I just want to say this right here. Don't be afraid. No, I was gonna say.
You
like,
took that hard
don't-
swallow. I was like, oh shit.
Just,
Yeah,
I was just gonna say
thought
anybody.
Thought we was doing good.
You know, we've had
Right.
interaction. I was just say, don't be afraid to jump, man, because like you
sure.
said,
Yeah, man.
like
Yeah,
Got
dream
to.
bigger.
it's
You
like
gotta take that leap.
you hadn't
man.
had really any you hadn't had really any impact like as far as being the owner of anything. So
Right.
to be able to take this risk, man, you know, you betting on yourself. You
For
know,
sure.
so
Mm.
more power to that, man. Keep that same energy in the culture also,
Hell
man. Don't
yeah.
be afraid to bet on yourself.
Appreciate it.
So before we get, I feel like we even had a nice correspondence. You know,
Time to
y'all-
get
you know, we
ignorant.
turn up on here and everything.
Time to
right
get
here.
ignorant.
It was a man of the cloth this week.
Uh-oh.
So
the
into-
prayer hour.
So into going into what the situations was for the week, we didn't want to group this with the real conversations that we
We
had.
might need to take like a 30-second pause.
Like
we
a
need a
soul-
drop.
We need a commercial or something right
Yeah,
here.
you gotta.
Yeah, so before we got there,
Kirk Franklin
we're
or
gonna pay a little bill. So we're gonna pay a little bill. Hey, if you were listening to this right now, you are a really appreciated Unspoken Conversation listener. And we just want to say right now, thank you for supporting us for 59 episodes.
Yeah.
And we just want you to go and look at some of our inventory as far as the merchandise at unspokenconversation.com. The link is in the bio and our page on Unspoken Conversation. And if you just feel like you want to reach out or give us any correspondence, also go subscribe on all platforms, podcast app, Spotify, and we're on YouTube. You know, you actually can see more of us visually on there. I guess if you put the visuals to our voices, it makes sense.
Right.
But yeah, you know, thank you for supporting us up to this point. Hopefully, we don't embarrass you too much. But hey, keep rocking with us.
And back to the show.
Yeah, we get a lot of love. But back
Okay.
to the ignorance.
Okay, now I just saw this nigga. Hold on, hold on.
Wait, Flynn, he said it
You
wasn't
just
him.
saw it.
I just saw it.
Oh,
I
did you just see it?
I was
Still
looking
ain't
at
seen it.
I was
You ain't
looking
seen
at
it?
Nah.
Dry, he going in.
Hey, he got some conviction about himself. He
Yeah.
is a man of conviction.
Yeah, he was convinced.
He was convicted.
He was killing the fact that he put himself on camera. He was really standing behind his
He had his face like she had Holy Ghost between her
Yeah,
legs.
it was passion in that though.
Yeah. He wanted to do it.
He been wanting to get his
right.
hands on her. Like when a nigga go down like that, like
They wanted to get
that
his
nigga trying to
hands
show out. He trying to
He
get a
tried
hook.
to show out.
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I mean, he was on camera. Though, so, you know.
And I'm like, how
The
could you
lights
not
was
see
on.
Couldn't have
her
been the first
recording
time.
it?
Yeah, because that couldn't have been the first time he let her record.
Yeah.
The lights was on though, so you got to put on the show.
Lights was on.
Right. And like,
Showtime.
Since it's in my voice, it's in my face.
Showtime.
Video
He went
come out,
in.
you gotta have.
Yeah.
You gotta go in.
It made him a star though.
I want to figure, has anybody at the table ever
It made
been,
him
you
a
know,
star.
has anybody at the table ever videotaped or been
No.
Oh, you know?
You ain't
Hell
never made. You
yeah.
ain't got no footage.
Hell yeah.
Nah.
My first, man, I got a
Call me
camcorder when I was
approved.
17.
I got a
Man,
whole catalog.
shit.
Hey, man, we ain't trying to mess up the
Hey,
brand.
You know, hey, that was for me, not the GM. That, you know.
I've tried
Man,
under the influence and got the phone slapped out my hand.
Talk about this beforehand.
No, nigga, I just did some like.
You can't
Oh yeah,
just
this got flash on this
What
shit,
the
bitch.
fuck
What
you
you doing?
What's that?
Fuck my whole night up.
Yeah,
Why you putting your shit back on?
She just went dry, bro.
Yeah, why you putting your clothes back on?
You a perv.
Like this,
wasn't
no,
on.
I have had a chick
wasn't
coming
on.
to the crib though, and this. What are y'all niggas out here doing? I'm talking about the listeners out here because I had a chick coming there. She looking at the crib. She said, "You got any cameras around here?"
Oh damn.
I'm like, "You sure?" I'm like,
You
"Bitch,
can't trick
niggas
'em.
out
Hey,
here."
that's how you know she was
Niggas
finna
out
do
there
some
setting up
freaky
hidden
shit.
cameras.
She finna do some
But I'm like,
extra freaky
nigga,
shit.
have you had this
Setting up
happen
hidden
before?
cameras, yeah.
Like,
She
niggas
seen
is-
us. She seen herself somewhere.
Nigga got teddy bear on
She
the
been
shelf.
scrolling,
Just
man. That's
This
like
is looking like, man, I'm trying to put her IG handle and shit on Pornhub. I'm like, nah, that ain't her. That ain't
You
her.
know, you can make money off that shit. You start getting them hits.
like, nigga, why is this teddy bear on your shelf, nigga?
Right. And one of his eyes, one of his eyes is clear. One of them
one
black.
of them Fetty Wap.
One of his eyes is red and big.
Fatty eye. So why your teddy bear look like Forrest Whitaker?
Nigga look like a Terminator. But no, man, like, the reason I say that, because I was wondering, how does that work? Because that was I heard an example of a woman who pretty much was mad and was trying to see if she could sue her boyfriend and to delete their footage.
All
they
the
had.
footage.
Like,
Did she consent to it?
You can actually get sued for that
Did
if
she
you
but
tell
no,
somebody without
yeah.
their consent.
no,
really
but the
dangerous.
thing is like, she didn't even want him to have it. Like he hadn't put it anywhere. She just
Oh,
didn't
she
want
just
him.
didn't want him to have it.
And I say this, I'm like, that's why every
intellectual
situation
She's a
I allowed the woman to put it in their phone because you put me out there, I'm gonna stand by my shit.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
I mean-
but I don't want you worried about me doing some creep shit. So you have it.
Hey man,
you know
but
what I'm saying?
that lady was an Indian giver.
Yeah.
No, she said he wouldn't. He promised her lead something in the choir,
Oh,
and he reneged. So she was like, "Okay, now you viral."
But this nigga out here
but could she
passing
sing
us.
though?
That's the key.
That's what I want to know.
If you wasn't
Did you
challenging
hear it on
enough,
the video?
but then it,
I ain't seen
I don't
it.
think mine had any
shit.
volume.
oh shit.
Why didn't have no value, man?
I think I heard that nigga say Shondo. Forgive me, Lord. Forgive me, Lord. Shondo.
Man, I'm just like, and you know, I heard that he
I
married.
ain't going
so
to
I'm
hell
like,
with y'all.
how you bounce back from that?
Hey, that boy
though?
gave speaking
when
in
you
tongues
done-
a whole new meaning.
What's gonna be your
Literally.
message?
Like, how do you get?
Literally.
Because we've had, you know, I've had situations. There's been situations where pastors have gotten in front of their like, I don't even want to name. I'm about to name.
Hey
names.
man,
You know, when they didn't have situations and they get up there and was like,
my bad.
you know, basically like, I was weak. You know, and I need the forgiveness of my flock, and then it's gonna
Yeah.
be some tears
Yeah.
slanging. You know, we see this thing happen every time.
What was it? One of them, he passed away. What was his name from
Eddie
Atlanta?
Long.
Eddie Long.
Eddie
But we knew it when he was in the mirror in the Under Armour
Nigga
shirt.
name Eddie
Yeah.
Long, bro.
Like, you wonder why they call me Eddie? Eddie Long, huh?
Nigga name Eddie
I'm not
Long.
going.
Because you know he must
trying
be
to
with
get the
boys.
Kurt.
We
Yeah,
ain't
he's messing
laughing
with
about
boys.
that.
Yeah, he was
We
messing
ain't
with
laughing
boys.
about that.
I'm
But
laugh-
it's just the
hey,
principle.
look, hey,
You
look,
know he
bro,
died.
I'm
You know-
laughing about it.
No, it was something.
He
No,
did
Lil
pass away.
Boys.
He-
though.
He
It's like
died before,
allegedly.
you know, all this shit. You know, he can be like
he
a
died of
victim.
cancer.
And they don't know
And
what
it
he
was
died
swift.
of.
Hey, swift
It was swift.
cancer.
Yeah, it came, got him real.
It came fast.
Hey man, but you know, okay. Anytime we was talking about power corrupts, absolutely. So
Yeah.
anytime you got that
Powerful placement.
many women looking at you like you something a little bit above than what you are,
The pastor of a mega church.
Yeah.
too?
Oh,
You that nigga.
This Sunday he gonna be. Oh my God!
No, you
I
gotta-
want to be in the choir.
No, real talk. No, you right because that's the like
They all gonna be. I want to be.
you
in the choir.
see the women come up to him all the time like, "Hey, pastor," you know, and because they count his pockets also, and then they know like like authority has always been
Women
attractive.
love a,
Yeah, it's
a
power. It's
women
power.
love a man
Power
in
and
power.
authority has always
Hell
been
yeah.
attractive. You know what I'm saying? So you can't fault them for having feelings for that person, but that's the difficult task of having that position.
Fact.
That's
It's
why
like-
they for everybody.
You
It
can't
ain't.
be common in how you respond to the advancement. And
Because everybody flesh ain't strong. Some
everybody
people
flesh ain't
weak.
strong, bro. And you know shit get around the goddamn church faster than
Man.
motherfucker.
Like Leon Lonnie Love on Martin.
Bruh.
He was-
Beast be with Satan.
It's the key example.
Let me lay hands on you.
Just say, so you mean to tell me you exploit
Bless
people for the funding of
Thine
their pockets?
eyes
Hell
have
yeah.
seen
See? You know?
the glory.
So what do you think his message is going to be Sunday?
Man, cause like
gotta
I
lick
would
it before you
love to.
stick
If I would, I would love to stream that damn service, man. I ain't gonna lie. You know how you can stream services?
yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be in bed right
I
now.
want to know where he coming
I want to know
from.
where he
Black Twitter,
going.
we need a
What you
hashtag for
say
this.
earlier,
Wait,
speaking-
Flim, hold on,
Speaking
Flim.
in tongues.
Hey.
Flim, what is his message going to be, dog?
Hey, if I had 10,000 tongues,
Oh, shit. Who need a healing?
I couldn't thank you enough.
Who need a healing? Meet me in the chamber.
The power of the tongue.
You know, like
Make sure you're fresh.
he get up there. Everybody, he looking to see if anybody looking at me crazy.
Right.
Everybody, open your Bibles right now.
Because you know a lot of older members, they ain't real internet
They don't
savvy.
know
Yeah,
what's
they don't
going
know
on.
what's going on.
But they like, but you
But
know,
they on
But
Facebook.
they kids
they on
don't show them, though.
Facebook,
They kids
but
don't be
they
like,
on-
mama, look at this.
But they on Facebook, so you
Yeah,
know
they on
that-
Facebook.
And they be on Facebook
Do
so
he got a
wrong.
mustache?
It's great.
Oh no.
And
He
let
gonna
you
have to say
know
the
you
And he got two knots.
He got
Like, they
two knots.
distinctive.
I
Nigga, that is you.
I don't really trust
of that
reverence
ain't-
anyway, man. I got a natural distrust in reverence anyway.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
some
like,
of them are kind of.
and it's crazy, but that's why it's so hard because it's like being a cop some time because it's like all it takes
They
is
all
a
get a
few
bad
of us
rap.
to fuck
To
us,
fuck
fuck
up
up,
for
for
everybody.
all of us to have to deal with this shit. So now when I walk in the room, I tell you I'm gonna pass you like, oh this,
Oh,
This
this
nigga.
nigga.
You got a tape out, nigga?
yeah, like you get what I'm saying? It's like black dude can't even wear his cop uniform without being called to snitch.
Right.
You don't snitch ass
How many
nigga.
niggas you done shot?
Like
No,
Nobody-
but,
I'm, a good-
you
I'm
know-
one of the good ones.
Just like we was talking about, prison is a business. Church is a business.
Oh,
that's
church-
a business.
Church is
Big
big
business.
business.
Now, that's what I
Church
was
is
just thinking.
big
Religion
business.
has been
Like-
a big business since.
For a long.
Hey, Billy Graham was making.
Benny Hinn,
you remember Jimmy Swagger? Jimmy get Benny Hinn to turn around and be like, oh.
Or Peter pop off.
You don't stop
Let
that.
BET be on. Let you fall asleep on BET
No,
and Peter
Kearney.
pop off.
Kearney Thomas is my favorite.
We talked about that right out the uncut. Here come Peter.
He
Peter
can't wake your
Popoff
ass
come on
up.
there.
I missed it.
I'm telling
Oh
you,
no, I
Kearney
missed it.
Thomas will wake you up out of your sleep.
Man. Dude, and that's the thing
my
about it
goddamn
though. Like
gun.
when you looking at, I ain't gonna lie, I be looking at pastors. I'm like, you got anointed, and you know, no, what get me is, and this is what got me. I noticed, like, you know, a few people I follow on Instagram, you know, and I was like, man, y'all talk all this holy stuff, and y'all uplift this pastor, and that's the power that they seeking, and that's what's getting them excited that they know they gonna fall weak to the flesh when they get closer, but they using God, oh almighty God, I'm in this and this, and I'm talking about the women, and it's I can only imagine on the other end when the brother is up here getting these vibes from these women. I'm like, I'm teaching you about the Lord, and all but you bringing in is bad fruit. You bringing this bad fruit to me.
You know
Has
what,
to be
Flynn?
fat in
It's
church.
funny you say that because I
Has to be
always
fat.
catch my. I ain't gonna say always, but you know, sometimes when you be in church and you in church to get the message, you get the word.
Yeah.
Boy,
Then you
them
see
pencils
somebody
dirt.
fine walk by and you just be
Boy,
like,
them-
oh.
Yeah.
I be mad, man. The worst
I
is
can't
when
do
you
that.
get hard in church.
Oh,
You be like,
bro,
Lord.
you already got on thin pants.
Oh my goodness.
You already got on slacks.
Nigga standing up right there for.
Preacher say everybody rise. You like
Right.
shit.
Right.
You try to point your shit
I'm
up.
saying though, like sentence wise, how many women y'all think wearing thongs in church?
Boy.
Cause
Or
you gotta
none.
wear 'em. No, you
Or
gotta wear 'em
none.
for the fit of your
Or no
clothes.
draws at all.
So it's like
My-
more about it's like I remember when I was in youth choir. What you like what you gonna say though, man? My bad.
Oh
bro.
no, I was just gonna say my church is so free that they wear.
Where you go to
What
church?
church you go to? Oh shit, never
South
mind.
Dallas. You go to South
No,
Dallas.
no, no.
You go to
It's
the
in North
churches.
Dallas.
I'm about to agree with you.
It's Shoreline City.
Okay.
And them some beautiful people in church.
He said beautiful.
So I already know that they can't wear no draws with what they got on. So I'm like, Goodness
You,
gracious.
you don't even want to look down. You,
So y'all think it's wrong to look at some ass at church?
No.
That's righteous
I don't
ass
be
you looking at
no
right
ass
there.
at church.
No,
I don't think it's wrong to look at ass at church. I think it's wrong to look at ass and think about what you would
I'm
do
gonna
to
say
that
the
ass.
reason I'm not
It's
gonna
not
say
wrong
it's
to look at
wrong
righteous ass,
because
man. It's not wrong.
some holy ass.
Some holy ass.
her ass in the right place.
That ass is filled. That ass
worship.
is filled with the spirit.
No,
worship.
but like honestly, I know
Gotta
how
be
we
saved to have
was.
ass like
I
that.
know how we was when I was growing up in the church. Also, you know what I'm saying. We was the sneakiest motherfuckers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Hell
Like
yeah.
we ain't like. I ain't gonna say that.
Remember the church
I was
bus?
I was really about to. I remember on the ride
that
to the
church
National
bus.
Baptist Convention on that 12-hour ride with them teenagers back there. You know.
Tell me you weren't acting managed on that
going
Man,
bus.
what?
Trust me, bro.
Yeah, I got blue balls for the first time.
Oh,
on that
y'all was
trip.
hunching?
Man, you was bad, man.
Y'all was dry rubbing on the bus?
Bad, man.
Nigga, dry rubbing,
Nigga
boy.
was
I
manning.
got my first hand job on that bus.
Hey,
man.
I was going to a passion play. Shit went down on the way to the passion play.
I'm like, hey, man.
It went down.
Hey, when we got to the National Baptist Convention,
You was
we got
good.
kids from all over the country in all these same hotels, bro.
Whoa, I did not
Nigga,
know.
whoa.
I didn't know that's what was going on.
Whoa, that was a trip I looked forward to
It
every
ain't had
summer.
nothing to do with the Bible. you didn't go for that reason.
Because what you would do, we would go into the National Baptist Convention where you had the assembly with everybody there. So, you didn't get my mom buy me, the fly, some fits, some new polos and shit to wear. It was something that clean.
You fly as fuck.
I'm like, and then when I went by my 11th grade, nigga ain't got a little, size on them and shit. So I'm really ain't got a little peach fuzz on me. Shit, I'm about to clean up. I remember
He's about to
I
clean
met
up.
this chick from Birmingham, Alabama. I never forget it, bro. Never forget. I met her while we was in our breakout class, because you know how you break out to different like sessions and stuff. So we was in class the whole week together. First day, where y'all staying? So they have a host hotel where everybody stay down there. If your church got the budget for it, you got some where y'all at the Holiday Inn staying 6 to a room.
Yeah.
But our church had the budget
that
for it,
hot-
so we
on
stayed
that
at the
hot-ass
nice
bus.
hotel. So she was like, yeah, I'm like, what floor you on? I'm on so and so. Okay. Me and my boy PK, I ain't gonna put his whole name out there, Shout out, we used to take them missions together, go in and put on a new outfit just to walk down to their room. That's the shit you do when you younger, like
changing outfits.
changing outfits. It's like, so cause I didn't have my, my casual clothes on. Let me show you I got some fits. You know what I'm
With them
saying?
big ass pants. on.
Yeah, hey, yeah, LRG and shit. Come on, what's up?
LRG.
I ain't no church boy all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I go down there, bro. That was like the first like chick that like a nigga damn near fell for, bro. Through the power of the P, man. Bro, that Alabama chick on a church trip, bro. I still remember her. I
still
remember how
looking
that
for her?
went, bro.
Damn, you ain't found her on social media?
About 2 months ago, I went searching for her on Facebook, bro.
Randomly.
Just random.
Did you find her?
How long
Yeah,
ago was
man.
this? This
I
you
think
was
she
in high
married,
school?
so, they get married early.
She
it's
probably
alright.
look totally different now.
Last
I
name probably
bet you
ain't the same.
inbox. She gonna be, oh hey,
I remember you.
Remember you.
Right.
Louisville, Kentucky.
You finna start that conversation
2003.
deep.
That was me.
Oh, 16 years. She probably look different.
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably
She
got
probably look
Yeah,
different.
because she was
Both
thick as fuck
kids.
back
Remember the
then.
Devin songs
that
she
ass
used to be?
probably ain't as righteous
Nah,
as it
yeah.
was.
She probably had a few
She
crumbs.
never know though.
It
Hey, man,
might have
yeah.
got more righteous.
I'm sitting over here twiddling my thumb and shit. Yeah, man. Good old days. Good old days. But yeah, so
You might.
Shout
have
out to Reverend Wilson.
Pastor Wilson,
Pastor
man.
Wilson.
I
Hey,
just wanna
Hey
say-
man, but yeah, we making jokes about him. He ain't the only pastor.
Hell no.
Nigga, what?
Hell
Nigga,
no.
what?
He's
He's a
not-
pastor right now.
Yeah, right now.
It's
as we
pastor right
speak.
now talking about, baby, I
As
need
we
you to put
speak.
your phone
Right.
His phone up.
in
His
that
phone
damn
up.
drawer right
like,
there.
phone
and
up.
he
Lock your
about to-
phone up.
He about to speak in tongues as we speak.
Who? Not Shondo.
That
Kirk
nigga,
Franklin still making albums.
after he told us he
He
was
said
a
he had a
sex
sex. He had sex.
He said, I used to watch
I'm addicted to
porn.
porn.
I couldn't go to sleep without watching
They
porn.
knew something was wrong when he was stomping.
I'm like, bruh.
He was Millie rocking on one video. It was real slow too. Like, nigga, stop.
I'm there looking like a goddamn exotic dance. Quit it.
And he like 5'1".
but okay.
Stop. it,
Well,
Kurt.
okay, so he do that though. Okay, so Coach Franz get up there, he gyrate, he do whatever on stage. He say it's for the Lord. Them hoes know what it's for.
Hey,
Them hoes know exactly what it's
ooh,
for.
Like niggas getting up there and all his shit that let him hang and shit. You know,
Yeah.
niggas be trying shit. You know,
Yeah.
like up there doing the R. Kelly gyration. You know they used to do back
For the
in the
Lord
day.
though.
Not the Robert. For the Lord. Yeah.
Stop.
Not Is that a pelvic thrust? This nigga pelvic thrusting on stuff like Bobby Brown used to in my prerogative video. No, nigga, you can't pelvic thrust.
Don't do that.
No thrusting in the pulpit.
No, man. We stupid.
Old folks gonna vote you out.
Hey, Prescott, don't judge us, man.
Please don't, dog.
It's funny. I ain't
Hey,
had this much
man,
fun in a
Please
long
don't.
time.
Lord forgive me. I'm trying to get to heaven.
So,
I'm not gonna lie. Like her
I'm gonna be the nigga at the gates, like the nigga in the club waiting on the promoter. Hey, nah, man, you go ahead. I'm waiting on something. Hey, let me in, man. Come on, please.
Don't tap me.
we at capacity. Hey, he like, hey, the fire
I'm gonna be
marshal
like,
just
nah,
came.
man, y'all keep on going.
We at capacity.
Because I'm walking just like
You know that? You know how many you with? You know this how nigga ain't about to let you. How many you got
Hey
with?
man, look.
I got 4, man. I got 2 of y'all. Damn, nigga, you gonna break some
Hey, I'll
something
be
like
like,
that?
I'll be like in the parking lot. All right, no, I ain't gonna get in. I'm gonna be in the parking lot. Though.
Trying to find some girls so y'all even.
you in the parking lot like, oh, they let you
Trying
out.
to even your ratio out.
Hey,
y'all
Be like, nigga, you in line?
I think I got a
But you know the nigga that wait at the parking lot because he can't get in or he ain't sure he can get in, so he see who walking up, try to holler at the chicks walking in. He like, man, where you going? What y'all got after this? What y'all got after this?
Nigga, it's only 10. They'll be back out in 4 hours.
You about to go to heaven, huh?
Be like, nigga, what you doing in line? I know you ain't in line.
Right.
Yeah,
What you doing after that, though?
I'm gonna be that nigga trying to get in. Hey, come on, man.
Hey, you know that this the number one nigga pose right here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then you act like you don't see
That
him.
is the universal. Like, what's up, nigga? You got me?
Especially when nigga be like, hey, man, can you play this one song? You be like, all right. You,
Then the nigga catch eyes with
you be in the middle of your set, you look at me. As soon as he catch eyes with you, nigga, I'm not playing
Fuck
that
you,
right now. I'm not playing that right now. Man. It's not that party.
But yeah, man, shout out to the niggas out there making false promises at the club right now, bro.
The nigga who wore his hat.
Talk about
Oh,
he
he
know the
couldn't get
promoter.
in with the hat.
He walking up there, so I know the promoter. That nigga told you at the barbershop that come holler at him when you get there. That nigga is not answering your phone, bro.
Go straight to voicemail.
Yes, every nigga there's a lot of niggas that took that in because you go to barbershop with a promoter or some shit. He like, man, where y'all at tonight? Man, we at so and so.
Pull up, my nigga.
Pull up.
Pull up on me.
That nigga that told
Hey, you
1,700 motherfuckers. to pull up.
5477. Yeah, I got you.
you, bro.
Hit me.
Just hit me when you get outside.
You outside blowing this
You
nigga.
done brought 3, 4
Right.
chicks. The chick you trying to impress, call my, cause you think you got VIP status. You outside.
Next morning they call you, my bad, bro.
My bad.
Yeah,
my
man, my
bad,
phone
bro.
was in my back pocket.
I told,
God,
hey, I
dog.
told your name was on the list, bro. Why you
Why you
just come in? Man,
just told him
come
I
on with
told
that
you.
shit, man.
Bro,
Like,
they wouldn't let me
It was
in.
like, bro, I told him, Donnie.
Who you
Oh,
talking
man,
to?
no, I told him D-Boy.
Damn, bro.
I told him D-Boy on the list. Get the fuck out of here.
That nigga text you at like 8, bright and early in the morning too.
8
My
a.m.
bad.
My bad,
8
bro.
a.m.,
Was you able to get in? Nigga, did you see me?
Did you?
Motherfucker,
That
did I
shit
come
went
up
up
to you?
last night.
Nigga, we kicked it. I was like, fuck
I was fucked up, bro. I was fucked up, bro. I had been
My
drinking
bad.
early. Nigga. That's no one rule, bro.
Can't stand them funky ass
'cause-
promoters.
man.
Man.
Now, my homies that's promoters, they show love. They'll put a nigga on list +1, and you in there good.
No, but
Yeah.
especially like special like circumstances, like all-star and shit like that.
Can't get, you're not getting in.
You're not getting in here on my
It's
my
like,
name,
Nigga,
bro.
these is $100 a piece tickets. You not you
gonna
my
just
homie,
get
but
you.
I can't get you in.
Right.
Just pay the $100 if you want to be in there shoulder to shoulder.
So you an owner, you gonna have to deal with shit like this,
Yep.
especially when y'all blow up,
Right.
bro.
Now
like-
you
won't
gonna
be like, hey,
as soon as you get,
Prescott,
hey, you
I
can
need
hit me with
20
the tickets.
Hey, hold up,
Hey,
hold up.
you can hit me a
Hey,
ticket right now.
You gonna let us in right
I
though?
need 20 tickets behind the bench.
Hey, we can get in.
I'm in.
And my pops blow me up about buying tickets. So if my pops gotta buy a ticket, y'all gotta buy a ticket.
Man, you know what? It's funny you say that. I was listening to comedian Capone. He said he did a show over in Africa, and a white dude came through the crowd of all these black folks over in Africa, and he was like, "Man, I didn't know that y'all was in town tonight, man. I would have bought a ticket." So Capone said the dude that was headlining the show, he was like, "Hey, get him a ticket." So the headliner was like, "No, we're not doing that." So he said he seen him again, and he was like, Capone was like, "Man, who is this dude?" He's like, "Man, he runs this whole region for Mercedes-Benz." He said, "All these people out here done spent they last to come see us.
Yeah.
So why the fuck would I let him get a ticket
Facts,
and come
yeah.
in for free?" So yeah, your pop's right,
But
man.
the thing is, I ain't gonna lie, celebrities get everything.
Hell yeah.
Them niggas get free
Everything get comped for
cars.
free.
Because I mean, it makes sense, but it's
Yeah,
like
make total sense.
they
it's
don't
like-
really buy shit.
Okay.
Now, if I was a celebrity and I went in the store and I seen a ring and shit up, I'm like, What you doing?
bro? I gotta deal with them.
all I need you to do is take these the sensors off and put this in the bag so I
Right.
can go.
Because
Why
you
you
know,
ringing
like
that
a
up?
lot of like big time players, like you like the BMW dealership in your city will just let you hold
Man,
the car.
Tiger Woods' wife beat his car up. You think he bought a new car?
Hell
Hell no.
Buick, that
Buick
nigga the
sit down.
finest shit.
He went a tour. I mean, if he went a
The Masters,
shit.
you get a bid.
Yeah. They give you. A
Cadillac or some
No,
shit.
I'm just saying though.
She beat this shit with a golf club.
His wife beat this shit up with a golf club. Do you think he had to go out and
That
buy
ship
a new car?
won right
No.
away.
And he stopped
Hey, I
winning.
have
He
a
stopped
meeting in
winning
the
after
morning.
that. When he
He
quit
did.
fucking them hoes, he
Yeah,
stopped winning.
Because
He
his
needed
juju went.
Yeah.
His juju went away, bro.
Yeah.
The sister would have been like, "You better get out there and keep fucking his hoes."
Now his back went out. You know when you
Yeah,
don't.
when-
all that fucking
Then he stopped. He
torture,
didn't know if he was
using
black.
them
Nigga, your daddy named Earl.
all
Right.
that,
the fuck you mean?
nigga, you got a nigga.
You don't consider yourself black. Nigga, your name Earl. As soon as you got in trouble,
You Earl.
welcome to this side.
Earl.
Remember when he got the mug shots?
And then
Welcome to
your
this
mom
side.
Asian, but she was fucking with Earl back in the day. So
nigga
nigga,
name
you
is
fucking with
Earl.
Earl too, bro.
Earl wasn't even the first nigga she probably been fucking with. Earl.
Bro,
Earl
man.
looked like he drank Hennessy.
The fine.
on the golf course. Make sure that swing is right.
Eldridge.
Shit, nigga,
He
Earl.
called a nigga
Earl Woods.
and little Earl.
He don't know if he black or not. You get the fuck out of here.
Man, hey, who think called you tiger? Who do you think called you tiger, nigga? Like,
Right.
Right.
and they got that proud little, like, but no, man. So, Prescott, bro. First of all, man, thank you for pulling up on us.
No
man.
doubt. No
appreciate
doubt.
the invite.
Do you have anything, any drops, any shout outs you want to have, or just basically any reminders, and let the people know where they can find you and the league information and everything like that?
Yeah, social media, all social media platforms at Dallas Skyline BC. BC stands for basketball club, so we're Dallas Skyline Basketball Club. So Dallas Skyline BC, that's our website, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We actually, in the morning, we actually at Clyde Warren Park, we're doing the breast cancer walk, so we'll be out there. We got a couple events coming out. Like I said, go check out our if you go to YouTube and search Dallas Skyline Press Conference, Dallas Skyline Basketball Team Press Conference, you'll see give you guys a lot more information about the team. But
I see
preseason,
you in your suit.
man, I had the
Sharp,
Burberry
like the
tie, put a little drip,
Sharp.
a little drip. I took my prom jacket out the closet.
Looking real ownerish.
Looking real ownerish. I own all this shit.
Yeah.
Fire your ass.
It is. You see
Nah,
how it is.
Preseason dates I already told January 12, 19, 26.
Definitely gonna pull up on you, man.
But there, I mean, even if you're not a fan, if you're not gonna be a fan of Dallas Skyline, like if you from Ohio and you live in Dallas, when we play the Ohio team, pull up. Like I don't mind having you in the gym with a different jersey on. You bought that ticket.
Hey, all money good shit. All money green.
Hey, it's green.
Bought
All
that
money
ticket.
green.
I don't
shit.
care if every team hate us. Y'all bought them tickets to
Yeah,
come see us lose.
absolutely.
But we really gonna have a big time team. The level of basketball is crazy. The entertainment's gonna be crazy. If you are a rap artist or dancer, we need entertainment.
If you're a rapper and you over 35, don't
never mind.
Don't
He
don't
said
come
never
out.
I'll
mind.
jump in.
Don't. This is for niggas in their 20, 28
Yeah,
and
facts.
younger.
Yeah. So, but we this is a legit professional basketball team. This is a platform. We need all the help we can get. I do love to give other people the chance to showcase their platform, and so use us. Like this is something that's gonna grow. It's like catching Uber when it first started.
Yeah.
Like get in now. Get while we touchable, because maybe in a year or so, if I come out in the black this season, you probably ain't gonna be able to touch me
Hey,
next
that's
year.
gonna be like, bro.
Oh no.
Now, you look familiar. He gonna look familiar to me, man. I'm
Be
like,
like,
bro, you remember me, bro?
I already got like hella
Unspoken.
new cousins.
I
This
don't know.
was crazy.
You got new cousins,
Bro, it was people like some of my clients was like, bro, I was in the gym and this dude talking about he went to school with you. I went to school with you, and I know he wasn't at
Yeah,
our
I know
school.
that nigga
I'm
wasn't
like,
there.
bro,
Yeah,
like,
your
they
family
like,
think you rich now,
yeah,
too,
bro,
right?
I know that. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
That's my
so and so.
cousin.
You know, Elsie, grandson. You know, he on the basketball.
He on the
team
basketball
down
team.
there
I
in
saw him
Dallas.
on TV.
Yeah.
So
he on-
and you know the dry begging is finna come.
Bro, it's already, and that's what's making it so surreal. I'm like, bro, I know, like I hear celebrities talking about this, and I'm nowhere near
yeah.
celebrity, but people see what they see on social media, and it is something bigger than what I see it as,
Right,
because
right,
I'm
right.
working for it every day.
Right.
But these people, like, it's so many people that's reaching out now that want to
Yeah.
be a piece, and that's fine. Like I tell people all the time, I don't never want to not take a meeting because I don't know who this person might be.
Absolutely.
So right now, this is the time because I'm gonna give you the time of day. I'm gonna tell you, like, yeah, let's meet. Let me see what you got. Like, you might be able to help us, but in a year,
Yeah.
I don't know. I might be like, nah, we good. But,
Real shit.
but
real
you
shit.
never know. So
Is it a chance that you might Jackie Moon and then get out there and hoop with them? You said you ran
Jackie
point.
Yeah, you only 28.
Yes, you ran point, bro. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
You gonna be out there practicing. God damn it, this how you come off a pick. Pass me the fucking ball.
it's funny. That's funny. That's
What's
funny.
that song?
Hey, don't be out there with that big ass shit.
Nah, Jackie Moon had an album too. It was like Love Me Sexy.
Love Me Sexy. Hey,
Don't be out,
bro.
Hey, don't find that.
Nah.
Your top two PGs
It's
one
go
thing.
down when you bring yourself out way.
Hey,
I might. Budget get small. Nah, bro. You can't, bro. I got it.
I got to suit up.
But we had our first open run a couple weeks ago, and I told my head coach, like, I'm hooping, like, cause this is my time to get cardio. I was like, I need the cardio.
Right.
I miss playing. So I'm hooping with y'all. I was so out of shape. It's
Oh,
crazy.
he gonna be the MJ type.
Man.
on.
They trying to
You know,
dump it,
MJ
yeah.
still be out there trying to.
Bust y'all heads out
Man,
here.
hey,
And then
hey, Malik, give me that goddamn
you ain't
ball.
got it no
funny.
more.
It's funny because I'm the owner, so they can't say nothing. Like bro, give me
Right.
the ball. No, president, give me the
Nigga.
goddamn ball.
You want to be on waivers? Have your ass on waivers in the morning.
That nigga might be
You
a
better
locker
not
room.
foul
Problem. He
me.
might be a locker room nigga.
He said, you better not foul me. Foul me hard one more time.
Yeah, bro.
You going to be unemployed.
We rooting for you,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Appreciate
for
it.
real,
For
man.
real,
You know,
yeah.
so y'all hear it. Y'all reach out. Niggas with the hoop dreams. You didn't miss the workouts this year. I mean, tryouts this year.
man,
So
next
get in the gym. Holla at them next year. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
How many motherfuckers pulled up in all brand new shit on? 'Cause you know, them be the worst hoopers.
Nigga, I had somebody leave their shoes. I got shoes in my trunk right now because somebody left them. They got one more week. I'm putting them on because they my size.
I don't discriminate.
That nigga knew he had to hang it up. That nigga like, yeah.
Nigga,
that's
so
right.
somebody left, you look around, somebody,
That
Lost and
mine.
found.
That nigga walked out his flip flops. He like, it's time for me to hang it up, man.
Oh, yeah, he
I
was
don't even
defeated.
need them no more.
Whoever left him, he was defeated. Man, I quit playing. Fuck them shoes.
But yeah, man.
Man, Prescott, man,
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
you.
We
for
sure
dropping by,
appreciate
man.
Appreciate y'all. This is
Pulling up,
dope,
man.
man. This is
You gotta
this
come
was
back,
fun.
bro.
Slide
For sure.
back with us, man.
Yeah,
you gotta
especially
come
when you're
back,
getting
man.
closer to the season, letting us know how it's been as far as just putting everything together.
Yeah.
And so, anybody else got any special announcement, anything that's going on that you want to speak on?
Oh man, just make sure y'all visit them, our website, man. We're gonna have some new merch for you. Buy the old merch. You know what I'm saying?
And you better yelp.
Get yourself a diff shirt. Get a diff shirt.
If you new to the Atlanta area, you better yelp your barbershop. You might walk in that motherfucker and see more than clippers.
Hold the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm just putting that out there. Yelp your barbershop if you new to the ATL.
Peek in the window or something.
Hey,
They get it's a new meaning to they giving bald face.
man, we out, man.
Literally.
Man, this your boy Antoine, the sword.
DJ D-Boy Fresh, the charming asshole.
Man, this knowledge, man. Keep achieving, man.
Yeah, this your boy Flam, man. We out.
Hey, peace and love, everybody. Peace and love.